Scott goes fishing one morning. That same morning, 27-year-old Laci Peterson steps out and never comes home. It's Christmas Eve. The whole neighborhood is decorated. Laci is 8 months pregnant. She's been wrapping gifts, making gingerbread, planning Christmas dinner for her family. She's weeks away from meeting her son Connor for the first time. Scott says he's going to be fishing at San Francisco Bay. He kisses her goodbye. He leaves. This is the last time anyone sees Laci Peterson alive. When she doesn't come home, her family calls the police. Within hours, the search begins. Within days, the whole country knows her name. Her face is on every television screen in America. Missing, pregnant, Christmas Eve. And her husband, the grieving, devastated husband, is on every one of those screens too, begging for her to come home, crying in front of those cameras, playing the role of a man whose world has fallen apart. But something is already wrong with that picture, and it will not stay hidden for long. Before we get into any of that, I need you to know who Laci was. Laci Peterson was born and raised in California. She was the kind of person that everyone who knew her describes her the same way. Warm, loud in the best way, the kind of woman who remembers everyone's birthday and shows up when people need her. Her mother, Sharon, said she lit up every room she walked in. And if you look at any of her photographs, you believe it immediately. She loved to cook. She loved to garden. She studied the science of plants and landscaping at university and graduated in 1997. She had a whole life she was building, carefully, joyfully, on her own terms. Okay? She met Scott at a restaurant in 1994. She was 19 and he was 21. They married in August 1997. To everyone around them, they looked exactly what they appeared to be. A happy couple building something together. By Christmas Eve 2002, Laci was 27-year-old and 8 months pregnant with their first child. They had already chosen a name, Connor. She had been decorating the house for the holidays. She had made gingerbread. She was planning Christmas dinner for the family. She was weeks away from becoming a mother. That was Laci Peterson. Remember her like this before everything that comes next. Christmas Eve, 2002. That morning, Scott told Laci he was going fishing. San Francisco Bay. He said he'll be back. Laci was never seen alive again. When she did not come back, her family reported her missing. The search began immediately. Flyers went up across California. Volunteers searched the streets. Her family went on television, pleading for anyone with information to come forward. And Scott Peterson was on television too. Scott went on television shows to beg for information about his missing wife, to plead for her to come home. He sat in front of those cameras, looking devastated. A husband searching for his pregnant wife, a man the whole country felt sorry for. But something was already wrong with the picture. Investigators searched, looking more closely at Scott. His story had gaps. His behavior had gaps. And the more they looked, the more questions they had. Then, a woman named Amber Frey called the police. Amber was a massage therapist from Fresno. She told investigators she had been in a relationship with Scott since November, just 1 month before Laci disappeared. Scott had told her he was a widower, that his wife had passed away, that he was free. Amber had no idea that the grieving husband she was watching on television was the same man she had been dating. She had no idea he had a wife, a pregnant wife, 27-year-old, and currently missing. When she found out, she called the police immediately, and she agreed to help them. Now the picture was shifting. The grieving husband's act was beginning to crack. The more investigators dug, the more they found. A fishing boat, bought just weeks before Laci disappeared, never mentioned to anyone. When investigators searched it, they found long dark hair strands that matched Laci's. Also, a life insurance policy taken out on his pregnant wife worth $250,000. And then there was a location. Scott had told the police he went fishing that morning at San Francisco Bay. Just a regular fishing trip, nothing unusual. Keep that in mind. We'll come back to it. But while everyone was searching for Laci, worried about her safety, pregnant and alone somewhere, Scott was on the phone with Amber. Police had recorded these calls. In one of them, Scott told Amber he was calling from Paris. He was actually in Modesto, at the vigil for his missing wife. And he was laughing. Not the broken, desperate man the cameras were showing the world. On these calls, he sounded completely different. Happy, making plans, talking about the future he was going to build with Amber. A whole life. While on the other side of the phone, his pregnant wife was missing, and the entire country was looking for her. He was planning a future with another woman while lying to her face, while lying to the whole world, while his wife, 8 months pregnant, was gone. Those recorded calls were played in court, and they became some of the most damaging evidence against him. Then in April 2003, the search was over. Laci's body washed up on the shores of San Francisco Bay. One day later, the body of her unborn son, Connor, washed up just 1 mile away. San Francisco Bay. The exact same waters Scott said he was fishing in the morning she disappeared. She was still wearing the same clothes she had on that morning, the morning she was getting ready for Christmas. Within a week, Scott was arrested, but not in Modesto, not at home, not grieving. Police found him near the Mexican border. He had dyed his hair blonde. He was carrying $15,000 in cash, multiple cell phones, his brother's ID, survival gear, and Amber's phone number. He was driving Laci's car. The man who had spent months on television begging for his wife to come home was running. Scott Peterson's trial began in June 2004 in Redwood City, California. It lasted 19 weeks. It became one of the most watched trials in American history. Prosecutors laid out everything: the secret boat, the hair strands, the insurance policy, the location, the phone calls, the dyed hair, and the cash near the Mexican border. 174 witnesses, hundreds of pieces of evidence. But the detail that stayed with the jury, the thing many of them later said they couldn't get past, was something Scott has said before Laci's body was even found. In an interview, Scott referred to himself as a widower. His wife was still missing. The whole country was still searching. And Scott Peterson was already speaking about her in the past tense. Amber Frey took the stand. She told the court everything: their relationship, the lies, the calls, the Paris story. And then the recorded calls were played in open court for the jury and the world to hear. Scott's defense team argued there were no direct evidence, no weapon, no eyewitnesses. They suggested someone else had taken Lucy. The jury did not believe them. November 12th, 2004. Guilty. First-degree murder for the death of Laci Peterson. Guilty. Second-degree murder for the death of her unborn son, Connor. Outside the courthouse, crowds had gathered. When the verdict was announced, they cheered. But here's where this story takes a turn that nobody expected. In 2020, the California Supreme Court outturned Scott's death sentence. Not because they believed he was innocent, but because of errors in how the jury was selected. His conviction stood. His sentence became life in prison without parole. And then, in January 2024, the Los Angeles Innocence Project, a non-profit that works to help wrongly convicted people, announced they are representing Scott Peterson and investigating his claim of actual innocence. This does not mean he's innocent. It means the case in 2024 is not fully closed. Scott Peterson has maintained his innocence from the day he was arrested till today. The whole thing is unfortunately very sad. 27-year-old, 8 months pregnant, Christmas Eve, decorating her house for her family, making gingerbread for her family, prepping to become a mother, planning a whole future ahead of her, not knowing the person laying next to her, the person she trusted, had betrayed her in such a horrible way. While the whole country was putting up missing person flyers and her family was going on television begging for answers, the person who knew exactly what had happened to her was standing in front of those cameras pretending to cry. Laci Peterson deserved better. Connor deserved better. And every single person who loved them deserved the truth from the first day. Sources are in this description. And if you want to support the channel, please subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.